powerful. It's
She was saying that she saw 444
the whole way here, and I just
the
called
whole
up
way.
my son so I could take him off of emergency breakthrough, and he called me at 444.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw 111, 222, 333, 444,
and then I said
555
Yeah.
on the way here. And just before, yeah. It's definitely a pulling together of souls and energy, and emergence, like a convergence of souls at the moment. And there'll be others around the world that are doing this work as well. But the soul tribes are coming together. Like we've done this all alone so far, right? We've all been alone with this. So good. Okay, guys, so we all decided to come here, right? In this moment of time, and in all of this chaos. This meeting is about the work. So if you're here, then there's a reason for it. I don't care if you're the film guy or the kid in the back. You got me? The souls that are here are meant to be here at this moment. And we're in the middle of New York, which is the most logical, you know, outside of ourselves kind of a area. Before you were born, you would have said, we're going to get together and we're going to choose the most hardest place to sit in. Where everything freaking fell down and all sorts of weird and wonderful things have been happening in this area sent out to the world. And now we're here at ground zero. But it's not ground zero as their ground zero. It's our ground zero. And our ground zero is to do with the right hemisphere and our intuitive thinking. And our purpose for being here is to use this ground zero to springboard into creating something new. It starts with you. It can only start with you. You cannot change anything outside of you. You have to start with you. So you're the one that starts to shift your mind, your reasoning, your feelings, how you approach your day at every moment, no matter what happens to you. You change it to what you suit it to be, and you watch the world shift around you. And that's how it's all going to start. So we've got this, because you guys have all done some work, right? You've all done work. I don't know this lady. And I know she's done the work.
I'm a transpersonal psychotherapist.
There you go. She's just like, my heart brought me here. I had another place to go to, but my heart brought me here. So even if you think in yourself and your mind, oh my God, I don't think I'm ready for that. It doesn't matter, because you know what? It's freaking easy. This is the easiest part. This is the part where you get to be you, completely you, authentically you, because you're not really worried about what anyone else thinks about you anymore. You're just doing you. And you're amazing, magnificent. You've got these ideas and these things you want to ground in this world that will transform it. That's just freaking cool. Excuse my language. I say freaking a lot, don't I?
Freaking's not a bad word.
I know, my dad told me off.
Keep freaking using it.
Yeah, my dad told me off. He's like, you're always swearing. I'm like, I'm not swearing. You said freaking. I thought, I didn't.
It's not a square.
Yeah, right? Okay, well, we keep saying freaking then. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a meditation that I actually channeled through. I want to use this heightened energy that we're going to come together with and send it out. You can choose your family, you can choose the suburb, you can choose New York, you can choose the world, whatever you feel. To do this, we need to align with our souls through our imagination. So with this meditation, please be open to allowing your imagination to show you the way. So when I was working with the elder, she put me in a little room with another friend. We were waiting for her to set up for what was called Nawati medicine. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know anything about it, nothing. And I was sitting there in this room and this big bug flew down. It was about this big, it wasn't small, and its wings were pearly iridescent white. And I'm like, that is so unique. I have never seen a bug with pearly iridescent white on it. We get into the room, she starts up about Nwati medicine, and she says what we're going to do is reach up and we're going to get a ball from the ether that is pearly iridescent white. I'm like, you're kidding me. I just saw the bug in the other room. And I want to say that because we're going to use that in this. I feel the pearly iridescent white is to do with reaching into source energy and bringing it through to us. I don't know if you all know what an ankh is. Does everyone know what an ankh is? Okay, an ankh is an Egyptian cross. So it's like a cross, but it has a loop at the top. And it's to do with the energy that they used to use, the Egyptians, where they used to pull their energy up, and then they would do a turn and then bring it in, and it would let them actually live longer and heal them. So they're bringing their energy back into themselves. So we're going to use that in this as well, in this meditation. And we also have the spinal fluid. We're going to tap into the spinal fluid. Now, my team got me this morning to tap into the usual, how we lift energy up in the chakras. Most people are feeling into the solar plexus and higher, but it's in the front, right? So you're in the heart and all that sort of stuff. But when they told me to do this, we're going to use this spinal fluid that runs up your back. Now, when you start to focus on it from there, it will actually get you to feel more of where the blockages are, because there's like what would I call that? Highways of energy that come around, and you can feel these different layers of blockages that you might not have noticed before. So just be aware of that, but we're not going to sit and heal it just yet. We're going to use this energy to raise up, and then we're going to go into what they call the Brahma, or the crystal palace, which is where the embryonic fluid, or the spinal fluid, because that is actually embryonic fluid that when you were a baby, before you were born, you closed yourself around the fluid that was in your mother's womb, and that is the spinal fluid. And there's a space between the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and it's just like a cave. So when I did the work with the elder, I actually was taken to the cave. And you weren't allowed to go into that cave unless you have a balanced mind. So there has to be work done with a balanced mind. But we're just going to go straight to the guts with this, because that's what we need to do at this moment. So we're going to raise all the way up our chakras to this point in the third eye. And then we're going to further out the crown, and then we're going to do a loop, and we're going to come back, and we're going to sit it just in that Brahma field, just above the spine. If you see where the third eye is within your own brain, if you can imagine that, we're in between that and the pituitary gland, because you want those two pituitaries all to do with the balance of our body and our outside world, and then all of the hormones with the sleeping and the waking, and the other side is to do with the spiritual essence. And it can actually bring in DMT once it's working well, and then you can literally go into these places and into portals, into different places. Anyway, that's another lesson. But so we're going to do that, and then when we finish, you'll be sitting in that place, and then I will just start channeling some messages through, and we'll see what my team brings through. So if anyone doesn't know me, my team is Pleiadians and the Cyanians and Arcturians. I literally have this whole array of beings, because I could see things before I was 50. I saw a lot of different beings come in say hi to me because they knew that I'd be doing this work in the end. So first of all, we're just going to ground ourselves. We're going to feel into the body, starting with the feet. Wiggle your toes if you need to. Just feel into your feet, your ankles, and now we're going to go up the calves. You feel your calves, your knees, your thighs, and we're going to just stay at the bottom of the spine, and now we're going to start our breaths. So from the swirling vortex, we're going to run up the spine and travel up all of the chakras, starting with the root chakra. So each time you double your breath, first of all, a quick breath, then a longer one, then a longer one, and a longer one. Now we're going to keep doing those breaths. So now we're starting from the root chakra and we're doing the same breaths up to the orange chakra. And the orange chakra is the sacral chakra, which is just below the navel. Now we're going to go from the sacral chakra up to the yellow chakra. The yellow chakra is the solar plex, which is just above the navel. So let's breathe together. Now we're going to go to the green heart chakra. Don't forget that we're actually going up the spinal fluid here with all of those runways moving towards or around the front of you as well. So it encapsulates everything in that solar plex areas. So now that we've landed on the heart chakra, now we're going to go up to the throat chakra, which is the blue chakra. And let's all breathe together. So now we'll be moving into the third eye, which is indigo.
So as we breathe now to go into that crown chakra, I want you to also imagine a white tube of light coming straight up through you, from earth, through you, up to this utopic ball, pearly white iridescent ball of light. Now as we enter the crown chakra and move through around this pearly white iridescent ball, we need to remember that pearly white iridescent ball represents everything within and outside of us. It is source energy itself. And we're going to sit in the middle of that before we do a loop and come back down.
Now just sit it there and feel really good. Just feel good. It's okay. I want you to feel safe here. I want you to feel safe in this coffee shop with the people around you. I want you to feel very, very safe. You are grounded in this world. You are here for purpose. You came in this shop for a reason. You came here to meet me for a reason. You came here to meet the team. Everybody here is a tapestry of this piece of beautiful blanket that we're creating at the moment. So just sit there and I'm going to start to channel some messages from my team. You can open your eyes if you want, but I really feel we are completely together at the moment. And this is literally coming from me. So you are me and I am you. So as a soul group that's coming together here and the now, this is ground zero for us to realize that we are collectively been working together. Even if we're on the other side of the world, it didn't make any difference. We were here, we had purpose before we were born. We literally, I can see these huge pillars of white, like creamy, a building that had kind of like, it's like a huge auditorium, and then we walk in and we're like, yes, we are chosen. I am 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 chosen. And there are two witches here. The witches held the codes. They held the codes and they stayed on this plane of existence. And everybody else here is here for the purpose of bringing or unifying the field of this collective together now in this space in New York, because we are the change. We are going to change the world, not because we're going to change the world outside of us, which has been tried over and over and over again. We're going to change it because we're changing ourselves. We're going to choose happiness. We're going to be our authentic self. There is going to be no difference between who we were on that planet before you came here and now. You are going to walk this path as that being that you were on that planet before you came here. And you are going to walk it with pride, and you are going to support yourself. You're not going to ask anyone to support you. No one needs to support you. You are going to hold this energy within yourself on your own. And that's all that's needed, because you have so much help by all the other souls that have collectively come here as in the etheric world to help you. You've got this. You've got this. You've got this. You know you're here to do some work, and that's what it's all about. And the fun thing is, this is the fun part. You can open your eyes if you want, by the way. Sorry. Like, we're just together now. This is it. This is the fun bit. This is the bit where we start to get really excited about who we are, right? Who are you? You know who you are. There's like an essence inside of you that's like, oh my God, I am more than this. And I am confronted with less of this, lack of this outside of me day after day. That's because it's pushing against the fact that you know you have to stand in your authentic truth and who you are. I wasn't brought here for any other purpose than to help ignite you guys in this crazy freaking world that you've dropped yourself into. Like New York, hello, what the? It's huge. But can you imagine the amount that you can create when you click into your imagination and bring back all those codes from that life before this life? What you can create? Because what's created out here is just by the outside world focusing on the people focusing on the outside world. When you're creating from all the imagination and you're just letting yourself do this work, like you've decided you're going to do this work, you're just going to ground business after business. Do you know how much support you're going to have? You don't have to worry about lack anymore. You are grounded here, and you're going to bring in so much more abundance than what you ever dreamt of. It's going to be easy because you're going to feel it within yourself, the core essence of who you are. You are supporting yourself, so what happens outside of you, it supports you. It's as simple as that. This is the fun bit. This is the part where we actually get to do our work. Okay, let's see what else comes through though. Okay, I just want to ground a little bit more because, whoa, that was powerful. I don't know if you guys felt that, but that was really powerful, right? You felt that?
I felt, like you said, we have the power, and I felt it, like that we are all these great beings and we can create all these amazing things, and it's just the limitations of our mind that are just preventing us from doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we know this now, really, if you're going to do the work that we're going to do, it's only coming from you. I decide I'm going to be a channeler. Okay, my partner just pushed me out and, did all this crazy ass stuff. That's it, I'm going to jump online and be a channeler. Who says that? I do. Nobody else supported me in that choice. Nobody else told me I had to do it, I shouldn't do it, or whatever. It didn't make any difference. I said, I've got to do me. I've got to do me. And this is a moment in time where there's this convergence happening. There's all these grid lines, they are showing me these grid lines that are literally coming into this. We have so many powerful beings coming into this. I know Anna could feel it. It's a whirlpool of, oh my God, they're doing it. Oh my God, they actually said they would do it and they're doing it. Yes, we are doing it. And you guys know that you've always had it in the back of your mind. I'm here for a purpose. I'm here for a mission. I'm here to do something. And it comes from you starting to connect to your soul and allow your soul to show you the way. It is literal jumping off a freaking cliff into an unknown vortex that I don't know where I'm going to land, but I know I'm going in the right direction. It's a trust game now. This is a ground zero within your consciousness, and then a ground zero within this cafe, and then a ground zero within New York, and then a ground zero within the world. Like, we are going to pull this together. And we're going to change our reality. What happens when you change your reality? You shift the timelines. You shift the timelines to saying that that's the only way it's going to happen. You make the choice and you be firm in it, and it will start to come in front of you. And you'll start to see things, little things happening. Like the signs, 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, all the way here. Like, what the? We had those signs on the way here. You can't deny it, right? And whatever you see in somebody else that you think, oh my God, that's so cool, that is you. That is you at the essence of yourself. Like, you cannot put anyone in front of you, even in your imagination, that is a powerful being, and not see yourself, because that, if it's in your imagination, it is something that you can attain to. Because there is no difference between that and how you're thinking about that person. It comes from you. That person might have their own decision on what their reality is, but how you feel about them, that comes from you. So it is you. So that, turn it around. Oh, I take that power back. That power that I see in that person is me. Take it. I'm here to just show you a reflection. Be that reflection of you guys. Whatever you see in me, take it back. You are that powerful. You are as powerful as I am that you see me or anyone else in this world. And even if you're just standing in your imagination and you see a ship landing and you see someone walking towards you, or you're in a forest and a beautiful globe of light comes in, this being comes towards you, whatever, they are you. You are them. Makes no difference. Now just rise to it. Just decide that's where you're going to feel when you walk down the street, when you go into the shops, day to day, when you wake up, choose it, choose it, choose it, choose it. And you watch the world change. I know when I did this and I left New Zealand, I'm in Australia to New Zealand and met my family again, who were all against me. They loved me. They supported me. They were shaking my hand. They wanted to be part of this. They could feel it because I knew it within myself. And I'm just an ordinary person who's gone through shit. I've gone through shit, just like all of you guys. But I decided that I'm going to be my magnificence in the end. I'm sick of the shit. It doesn't work anyway. So let's step into this power that we have, become it, and walk this path. And that's a choice at every given moment. If you have an argument with your partner, if you have an argument with the kids, you choose happiness. Just keep choosing happiness. Just keep what makes you feel happy. Your kids will benefit from you. Your husband will benefit from you. Your workmates will benefit from you. They will start to see a shift in you because you choose you and your magnificence, and they want to find it in themselves. And all they're finding is source energy within themselves. What's source energy? It resides through all of us. We are all the same. We are just that oneness. But we've split into trillions of different soul journeys and gone on different journeys. But at the core essence, it's just love going on a journey. It's just love going on a journey, and anything else is a lack of love. So when you're feeling discomfort, you're feeling annoyed, it's a lack of love. Turn around and go, whoa, where did I give my power away that I felt annoyed? Nothing to do with the other person. Why did I feel lack in that moment? Why didn't I feel magnificent in that moment? And just keep turning it back around, keep turning it back around. And if you fall and you realize you've gone into your mind again, your head again of it has to be this way and I'll never get the money and I'll never get that, just go, stop, shush, tried your way, nah. Don't need to listen to that anymore. I'm going to bring it back to myself and challenge myself to know that if I decide, if I have the will, that it's going to show up. Because the universe, when you're clear, your outside world is clear. So your outside world will bring it to you straight away. And it can be that quick. It can be so quick. I've literally gone into my room and gone, okay, I've had enough of this. And then boom, walked out of the room and the person said, I'm leaving. It was just that quick. I didn't have to say, can you leave? I didn't have to fall into victim. I didn't have to create a drama for it. I didn't have to do anything. I just decided this is enough. She didn't know I'd said that. And then my flatmate left. Now, I didn't do that just once. I did that several times. It's the power of us. We are willing our life into existence at every given moment. We are willing it. How cool is that? When you realize that power, that's coming from the feminine, right? The feminine side of ourselves. So now we're bringing it into the masculine side. We're grounding it into the masculine side. The masculine has created all of this. How freaking amazing is that? I'm not going to poo-poo this. This is amazing. I walked through New York and went, holy crap. Logical brain's crazy, but it's really cool. Look at it freaking created all of that. And that's awesome. Like, don't poo-poo something that's grandiose that we've created outside of ourselves. Use it to your benefit. But we have to raise that feminine power back up again to match the masculine. And literally why we're sitting in New York. This is why we are here. They keep calling ground zero. And we're here. This is so awesome. Right? Now, if anyone has any questions through this, I like it to be like we're sitting on the lounge seat and we're having conversations.
Bobbie, how can we overcome judgment? Because it's the logical mind says that's not perfect, this should be better, and it just runs all the time. And I just want any ideas and support about that.
Yeah. Judgment's a fun one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Judgment's held by that logical mind, obviously. But it's like trying to perfect yourself in an outside world, trying to look perfect to the rest of the world. But if you accept yourself as already perfect, you stop judging yourself. So come back to yourself and go, no, I'm freaking magnificent, I'm awesome. I don't need to be poo-pooing myself and judging things and judging how it's all going to work and all of that sort of stuff. Faith and trust and taking the leap of faith. Jump. You are going to make mistakes. You are meant to make mistakes. Because if we didn't make mistakes, it would be this perfect robot of a world. We don't want a robot of a world. We don't want logic to take over and say it has to be everything exactly the same. What's the level of that consciousness that everything ends up being exactly the same, and how boring would that be? There's supposed to be aggravation. The pearl in the oyster is created. The pearl is created. Source energy, even within its own definement of its essence, decided to be imperfect. The Taurus energy is imperfect. It cannot be perfect, because how can we evolve and grow? We can't. And there's nothing out there, no nature, no nothing to stop with trying to be perfect. And that's judging. That's how the judgment starts. It creates the judgment, yeah. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, that one. It really is. Like, you're just like, oh, I should have gone that way. I really should have gone that way. That's logical mind. It's already decided it has to go a certain way for the story to be evolved. The story can change at any given moment, and magic happens. Like, when magic happens, all that is when it is because the lineal story that you have been running all of a sudden does a giant leap to something else. And you're like, well, that didn't have any story between there and there. So that it's like magic. It seems like magic. So we're running this story, logical. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I went from A to B. I jumped in the car. I got to there, and I went into the building. Yeah, everything was. And then all of a sudden, holy crap, I'm somewhere else. What? You know, how can I be something? It was literally bringing in teleportation here. How can I be somewhere else? But it's like magic. Actually, there's magicians around in this world that actually know this. And they are showing us the magic that we're missing, and they're commercializing it so that they can be seen. They actually have the magic that they're doing is actually from the right hemisphere, getting people to go, what? It's blowing my mind. You know what? It blew my dad's mind. My dad is very illogical. How could he do that, Bobbie? How could he do that? I don't know, Dad. Maybe it's magic. Maybe there's magic. I'll give you a prime example. I know Tim's probably, a couple of people have probably heard this one, but I'm going to give it to those that haven't. I was literally sitting on a field of grass. I was actually walking on a field of grass out camping, and I just decided, well, my team has taught me how to still my brain enough where I am in nothing and I am in everything at the same time. So I'm like, just for a moment, I'm going to use this to actually make something manifest in my life. And I know that my logical brain would stop me. So I had to choose something that my logical brain would agree to. So this is the work that you do when you start to play with magic, right? You still got to get your logical brain to actually agree to it. And then I went, okay, well, I'll pick a 4-leaf clover without looking. And I hadn't seen any. And I just plonked myself down on the ground, and I had my eyes closed. I didn't even look. I picked a blade of grass, as far as I know, 4-leaf clover.
Wow.
And I went, holy shit. That means every thought? That means everything? I have to look at everything that I'm thinking because I'm creating my existence, my reality in every moment. But that void that I went to, that no man's land, that no mind, it's a no mind. It's just a nothing. It's where everything is everything, but there is nothing at the same time. The void is everything as well. It comes from your imagination. Now, what do you want to put in your life? What do you want to bring into your life? What do you want to ground into your life? And what we do is we go, I want that. But then we're like, oh, well, I'll have to go get, let's just say lotto. I want to win lotto. I have to go buy a ticket. I have to. You know what? It doesn't even have to, they're telling me it doesn't even have to be that way. They're showing me when I was walking down the street and I really needed some money to get into a place. I had no money on me. And everyone was going over across the road to another nightclub, and it cost $5 entrance. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't have any money. How am I going to do this? And then they said, go to the ATM. And as I walked to the ATM, I looked down, here's $5. That's how it can work. Like you could literally pick up a lottery ticket off the ground and it'd be the winning one. Like it doesn't have to have the linear story. You don't have to follow your linear story. We keep on following it and we're getting caught in a circle, in a rut, going round in circles because it's trying to overprotect us. Step out of the freaking linear story. Allow miracles to come into your life. Trust them. This is how you're going to start progressing forward and going, oh my God, I'm creator of everything. I'm creator of my reality. Holy shit. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes there's people in our lives that challenge us, and so instead of viewing them as like, oh, I can't stand them, instead it's like having to be like, thank you, teacher, like, thank you, professor, so that you kind of get out of that feeling of wanting to judge them for creating chaos inside for yourself, or like frustration. You're just like, oh, this is my teacher for today. Okay, what am I gonna learn? But like it's like you have to constantly remind yourself every second because you want to quickly just go to like, I can't stand that person. And then
Yeah.
Don't go into that energy because it's not going to give you anything.
No, you hook into their energy, they get the value of that energy back. Even when you're driving in the road, as soon as you put out to the road person in front of you that cut you off, then your energy went, and then their energy went, and then they slowed down or whatever, annoying. But I just tried, that's interesting. Oh, they must be in a rush. That sort of thing. Like it's water off a duck's back. When you've done the work, you will actually start to move through your life like people don't aggravate you the same as what they did in the past. But if it's happening, what I would do is I would remove myself and go, okay, where's my lack? Because they're showing me something that I feel powerless and that I'm annoyed with them and that they're more powerful than me, or that they're more gripier than me, or they're more annoying, to me. And so there's something in you. If you were standing in your power at that moment as an elder, you wouldn't be afraid to go, sorry. You wouldn't be afraid to stand in that power, and you would act different. You would challenge them with a way of, I know who I am. And so they won't feel that same resistance to you. You're just like, I know who I am. It actually is really interesting since I've started doing this work. I don't even get that much anymore. I really hardly ever see people coming at me anymore. My life is full of people that love me now. Everywhere I go. It's been an incredible trip. Like usually I'd be this little mouse and a victim. Oh my God. And I tell you what, Cherokee elder that went around the world to find specific souls from Pleiades, that's what she was sent to do, and she met me and she's like, pulled me in and said, you're a specific soul from Pleiades that I have to work with, kind of thing. And when she actually did that, actually I've got two stories running here, and one of them is, she actually pulled me up and then she said, I'm going to shift your neuron paths in your brain. And I'd already felt, because my team had led me to digging up gold in New Zealand, that gold bracelet in New Zealand, I was trained by my team to think really positively. And not positively as in everything's positive, but positively as in I can shift my mind to positive from negative if it's getting too much. And then I was clear. My clarity knew where I was going. I had to come to Australia. I knew I had to come to Australia. And then when I met her in Australia, she pulled me up, and this is like 2, 3, 4 years later, I think. Quite a few years later, I had babies. And she's like, you've got kids. Stop being so hard on yourself and judging yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And she did this neuron thing on my head, and then I just felt the stillness again for 2 weeks. So it's a place that we find within ourselves, and when you're in that space, everything starts going wow. Everything starts going right. It just starts going right. It's like, and whenever chaos and that happens, you find ways of, like on the way here, we were late. Well, we thought we were late. We were actually earlier than everyone else. That's all right. But we thought we were late. And we were in a taxi, and we were in New York, and there was a taxi and all of this and the hustle and that. And I just said to them, Ane and Yin, who were trying to talk to me, excuse me, I'm rising above this. And I just automatically rose my head and I stayed in this calmness. My head is just constantly calm. I haven't had any anguish the whole way here. It's just been calm. But I still stood up for myself. I still said to Yin, yeah, I need to be prepared. I still stood in my power. There's a difference between trying to force the outside world and coming back into yourself and finding that power within yourself. You shift it within you. You don't shift it outside. That's fleeting. You can shift something outside of you. You could even gain lots of money or whatever, or gain a little bit of freedom. It's fleeting because it will always end up matching your vibration of your head or your inside in the end. So then you'll go down again and into that drama and the chaos, even though you're on a holiday and you're supposed to feel free and you don't feel like you're on a holiday. No, because you haven't had a holiday from your logical mind. We're literally seeking a holiday from our logical mind. People are like, I'm anxious and I'm stressed and I'm exhausted. Why are you exhausted from your logical mind being in charge? It's not supposed to. They took me into through a portal onto a beach and the sea, and they showed me we're in a story within a story. And I'm like, really? We're in a story within a story? And then the man next to me lied down on the beach, and then I lied down onto him, and he said, I'm going back to Earth. I'm going back to this reality. And I said, well, that's fine, but you have to let me lead. And he said, why? Why would you lead? Because I hold the imagination. This is literally my feminine brain talking to my masculine brain. Masculine brain, you don't know how to get out of this. You're going in a loop over and over. You're caught in a maze. You keep grabbing from the past and you keep projecting into the future. You think that things in the past that you have in that logical memory bank is going to get you out. No. It's going to go you more and more in a circle, the same shit over and over again. Only the imagination can get ourselves out. This is the power of the imagination that they stumped in schools. They stopped kids from imagining. The imagination gets us out of the loop. It literally takes us into a whole other game. So what do you want to imagine? Use it. Use it to your advantage. What you want to do. Yeah. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes like there's people who are not believers and they see you being in that place and then they're almost like they're trying to test you to get out of it, and then you're like, just relax.
Do you know what they want? They want you to empower yourself so that they can find a way out. They're literally coming up to you and grasping and pulling at you, and you've got to stand in your power, because who's going to support you? No one. You're at the top of the game here. You support you. You don't need to look for anyone else to support you. If you start doing that, you're only going to find people that are pulling you under again, because when we've decided to become the ones that use our imagination to do the magic, to get ourselves out of this and change this world, we have to take full responsibility for it back. We have to do that. Otherwise, you're not doing the work. You're just following the mainstream of everyone else that's caught in a loop. So if they come at you, just see it as, I'm going to show you my power. I'm going to show, and then they'll go, oh, there's something about that person. They might say something smart ass, but you don't feel it. Water off a duck's back, because I know who I am. Why would they tell me who I am? They can't when I know my power. No one can take that power away when you've given it to yourself, because you just go away from that for a moment and you might feel a little bit, and then you go, no. I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, I'm magnificent. I can do what I want with my imagination. I can look down another path and go somewhere else. So you're the one that does that for yourself. Then nobody has control over you anymore. And people have control over you because you're looking for something outside of you to give you that power. But you've got to give it back to you yourself. No one's given me my power. I had boyfriends that, smashed my ribs and all sorts of things. I've gone through the mill and back with a whole heap of crap. It was only me that gave my power back. I didn't have family around me, no family to support me. I had to give my power back to myself. I had to take those steps and choose happiness for myself every given moment. So I've got stories. I just don't dwell on them anymore. I see them as gems that woke me. They're just gems.
I was going to say the people that appear as not supporting you are actually empowering you into your own power. I just have to say, so I wasn't supposed to, I was supposed to be. I was meeting up with a friend who fell ill, and I came in from New Jersey. So, and I have another friend I'm meeting later, so I had time to kill, and I have friends in the city, and I keep telling myself in my head, I've done too much work and nobody can connect with me. That's a story in my head. And I'm like, you've done too much work to know that that's a story in your head. So I let this story go into the universe, and I do non-dual meditation, so I'm like letting it, float. And then I just looked up I was like, I want to actually, I didn't think anything. I didn't say I want to meet like-minded, because I let thoughts go. I just let my heart guide. I went on Meetup literally 15 minutes before this.
Wow.
And they showed up, and there were other things I could have, but I'm like, no, this is who I am. So everything you're saying, it gave me goosebumps when you said, they're actually reflecting, you guys are reflecting me, because I had to, and you, because you're saying everything that I was doing. And I'm like, yeah, it was.
I love that.
And on the way here, I was listening to Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you guys know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could literally show you. I think it's reveals quantum. It says goosebumps. This video will bring you goosebumps. So.
And then you step in a real life goosebump moment. There's something also about a message they were telling me about us allowing the soul to be grounded more into our body. And our soul is literally just kind of waiting for almost us to go, yeah, we've had enough of this. But we want to ground it into our body so that we're walking that magnificence. And when that happens, the uniqueness of who you are becomes alive. So you start to become that uniqueness of who you are. And you might end up having where your hands do weird things and stuff, but you accept it for yourself. If you start doing funny movements or whatever, accept it for yourself, because that's literally your soul. It's like it works in energy. It doesn't have reasonable reasons for why you're doing things. It's just working in energy. And they brought me to, well, actually there was a program, I know you guys know House. Yeah? Yeah, you know House.
The TV show?
The TV show.
With the doctor, with the lip, and the cane?
Yes, but he had a patient that had severed the two hemispheres of the brain. And one was logical based and one was intuitive based. And he was sick. And they were like, what the? And his hand kept on knocking over the coffee all the time. It just kept knocking it over. And he's like, I'm so sorry, because my right hemisphere is just doing its own thing. And then if they plugged into the logical, it was all very, compartmentalized space, questions answered, that sort of thing. And then the intuitive mind would work only in the vibration of colors and sounds and different things. And then in the end, they found out that intuitive brain that was swiping over the coffee was swiping over what was making him poisonous.
Wow.
They're also bringing me to Peaceful Warriors. Don't know if you've seen that, where a master, and this is a true story, actually trained a gymnastic man.
Dan
and
Millman,
he was a
way
master.
Of the Peaceful Warrior.
Yes,
yeah.
and
yep.
he actually threw, out of his anger, threw tools at him.
Mm-hmm.
And the master just goes and catches it. Now, I've done that where a friend of mine was like throwing socks at me, and I went down the stairs all the way to the garden, and I just had in my head, I don't care. If he throws it, I'm going to catch it. And I didn't know if he was going to throw it again, but he threw it. I didn't even look. I just put my hand up and it went, and I'm like, how did I do that? But we can act with our right hemisphere. Our soul wants us to save ourselves. It wants us to be the best. It wants us to be healed too. It wants to heal us. But we're not relaxed enough to do that. We're fighting with it. We're literally fighting with our soul. So then all these diseases come. What happens when you fight something? You tense up. So parts of your body tenses. And you literally don't have the soul infused in those cells.
In that movie, my children are, they're all grown now, but when they were young, I would make them watch these movies. I hate your witchy stuff, Mom. I constantly would do it. You piss me off, you get a movie. Sometimes I'd say a toilet, but it was usually one of my movies. But in that movie, it will show you, he had all of his being, he wanted to be that gymnast.
Mm-hmm.
He put everything into being that gymnast. And Spirit's like, no. You've come to do my work. And he's like, no, and he builds his body up and builds his body up. But in the end, he did what he was told to do.
And that's take the garbage out.
He took
Of his mind.
garbage out. Well, he took the shit out. But the story goes is that he found him. When he knew himself, because he had to listen to his body to get back. But once he found his body, he found all his own pieces to bring into him. It is a magnificent, if you haven't watched it, I'd say watch it 10 times.
Yeah.
My one twin would actually just go pick up a pen and a piece of paper and just draw. That was like his own way that he put himself into timeout. He would just go pick up a pen and just draw.
Isn't it cool?
I see him do it at 19 sometimes. I'm like, and as a mom, I want to tell him, wish he would do more of that. Doing more of that, because, he just put himself pencil. He's like, okay, fine. I have no toys. I'm in trouble. Can I have a piece of paper and a pen? And that was it.
So cool.
And trust me, they got tantrums too. So they
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, my middle child, when she had a tantrum, like she didn't very often have tantrums. She was very peaceful, like her middle name's Dream, very easygoing, peaceful. Put ADHD kids next to her because she'd chill them out, that sort of thing. But when she did have a tantrum, because a lie was told and she was not allowed to, no one kind of believed her, she really Rumpelstiltskin. She frightened herself so much she went into her room and got all the books and pillows. I didn't know what she was doing. She had a space as big as this and made a giant circle, put herself in the middle of it and said, leave me until I sorted myself.
Wow.
Yeah, she was only about 6, 7, something like that. Yeah. She just knew what she had to do to sort herself out. And they're freaking cool kids. I've got really good kids. I'm lucky. But yeah, in any case, the kids are also here to teach you as well. Your parents, your kids, everyone that's around you. Like, you don't choose your family, you choose your family. You chose your family. And like, I know with my mission that I had, I literally dropped into a family of witches because they had the codes that were held from Atlantis, Lemuria, the seeing codes, to be able to see, to be able to predict things. They had all these codes. So I'm like, well, I have to go in the thick of the shit. Excuse my language, but I did. Where they were completely victimized and just powerful, but just living no life, just hated their life. And I helped every single one of them through my journey. And I woke myself up. And now I see them, they're like, Bobbie, love it. So yeah, we do. We choose our families. But it's not just, it's the crap, but it's because they hold gifts as well. Under the crap, the crap is actually hiding the gifts. Because they were persecuted life after life for having those gifts. So then they've got them right here. So if you break the crap, you actually find the gifts underneath it. Yeah.
Witches are often referred to in society as a negative thing. Is from what your guides are sharing with you, were there constructive witches and destructive witches? Like, what led to all this?
Well, we should ask the queen of witches over here.
I would say yes, there is dark and there is light.
Yeah.
So the many lifetimes that I was Glenda, the White Witch, I was just as powerful as a dark witch.
It would have to be the same power.
You have to have the same for the balance of self.
Yeah,
So,
it's just exactly the same when you see a nemesis, any nemesis outside of you. There is no difference between the power of that nemesis and you, because through the eyes of source energy, we're just energy going on a journey. One has a lack of and the other one has a lack of too, because they didn't find their power. So as soon as you start to find your power, I can tell you crazy stories of demonic beings coming towards me and shuffling their way towards me and then sitting on my bed. Because I saw things, I felt him. It wasn't even, it was real to me. It was, I could smell him. It was a demonic being. And he sat on my bed and he tried to grab me around my neck and put pills in my mouth. And I just went, nah, not going to happen. And then I didn't know how I was going to get out of it. But this ball of lights, like all my chakras went into a ball of light and just went. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's how powerful I am. There's nothing outside of you that is more powerful than you. There's no governments, there's no nothing. Because you need to find that power within you. If you think that they're more powerful than you, you're saying to source energy that it's less and more powerful. It's not. It really isn't. It's just coming from you and how you feel about yourself. You can't have a nemesis that is more powerful than you. It's raising you up to your power. It's showing you your lack so that you can take it back and you can raise yourself up.